Hey folks, welcome back to Chris White Africa on the Indaba Africa channel here on YouTube. For the time being, we are on YouTube. Anyway, no plans to leave it, but they may leave us. Anyway, so welcome back to the channel. Today is the 8th of January, 2021. Can you believe we're into 2021, folks? Pretty crazy, and a weekend, and already it's been a pretty momentous year, and most of it hasn't been good news. But I hope that things are going well for you in your world, wherever you may find yourself. Whether you find yourself in Nunavut or Alberta or the Atlantic provinces, Nova Scotia, New Brunswick, and Prince Edward Island, welcome to folks in Canada. Those in the United Kingdom, welcome from the United Kingdom, wherever you may find yourself, whether it's in the Faroe Islands, well, the Faroes, that's Denmark, whether it's in the Shetlands, the Orkneys, the Highlands, Edinburgh, Glasgow, Skye, the Isle of Skye. Maybe you're in Wales or England or perhaps even Northern Ireland or even the Republic of Ireland. That's right, we have folks that tune in from Ireland. Welcome to folks from Ireland today. Those on the continent in Europe, somewhere in France, welcome if you're trying to escape from the tyranny of the French. If you're trying to escape from the socialist leanings of Angela Merkel in Deutschland, herzlich willkommen hier bei uns. Wir sind froh, dass die da sind. Ja, wir haben jetzt etwas Neues darum zu reden, ja, und diskutieren. And to folks in the Balkans, whether in Croatia, Bosnia, Montenegro, wherever you may be, welcome folks. Those out in Asia, in South Korea, Japan, China, Australia, New Zealand, folks who watch the program from all over, even a few in the Philippines now. Authentic Max out there in Nepal, welcome to you as well. And to folks in Africa, of course, warm greetings to you. You know, I always leave Latin America off. Don't have any real ties to Latin America or any affinity for it, so don't even know if we have any Latin American viewers. But to the folks, there we go. See, we got Dublin in the house. Hey, there you go. Salt Lake City is here. I'm going to get back to the States. We're going to get back to the States in a second. But those in Africa and all the places where I've lived and worked in Tunisia, Liberia, Botswana, Malawi, Niger, Mauritania, Uganda, Ethiopia, to all those places, welcome folks to the channel. It's a pleasure to see you again today. And yes, Cyril Ramaphosa, the president of the African National Congress, will be addressing the nation. I don't know why. Who gives a flying flip what a political party's birthday is all about? It's not a national thing. But, of course, in South Africa and in much of Africa, party and state are conflated, and they're not the same. Of course, I can't really pick on Africa. The same thing is underway here, where the Democratic Party is on a mission to exterminate anyone who does not toe their line with their bigotry, their racism, and their hatred. And so they're trying to destroy people, using big tech allies to censor them, using the captured media, the captured universities, captured Hollywood, all to spew falsehoods, lies, mischaracterizations, misrepresentations, and hatred, all pretending to be loving, kumbaya, and all the things that they actually are. They claim others are, they actually are. Anyway, folks, Brett's got the Indaba shirt on. I was thinking about that today, Brett, because I've been so much kit on there. I haven't really been pushing it. So, but thank you for the shirt purchase there, Brett. Appreciate that. You were the first one, as I recall. And Trump will not attend Biden's inauguration. Well, good for Trump. I wouldn't attend it either. Shouldn't be the president. Election is stolen. Oh, that'll get you banned. Oh, here it comes, folks. Here it comes. Ooh, expressing an opinion is not allowed. Opinions are fake news. Bullshit. It's a person's opinion. It's called freedom of speech, and it is a cherished right in this country. Well, it was. Anyway, so welcome to folks around the world. How are we doing? Over 100 right now, but gosh, I got 5 dislikes already. Wow, the trolls came in early. Piss off, little... How's that hate wank going? Are you in your closet? Is mommy in the other room? Don't make too much noise. She'll hear you when you're doing your hate wanks. 5 haters. I love it. I love it. You know why the trolls are coming? Because I've been showing footage of my eyewitness accounts, along with my commentary and analysis of eyewitness accounts of what occurred on the Capitol steps on the 6th of January. And that's drawn out the haters. Yeah, there you go. There you go. So defeat them. If you enjoy the channel and the content, you appreciate it, smack that like button just to show them. The like button doesn't cost anything. Yeah, actually, no. To be fair, I probably got 5 dislikes because Ramaphosa is on the cover. But that's not my fault. But you're welcome to dislike it, too, if you don't like it, folks. That's fine. It's no problem. Republican Party was nullified by impotent, gutless career politicians. Yeah, about 30 years ago there, Rian, when George Herbert Walker Bush ran a pathetic, energyless campaign and allowed a lying, shyster, dirtbag, sex offender to become the president of the United States. Well, that's when the Republican Party was over. it was all over with the campaign that he had to run in '88 to win, the Willie Brown stuff. That's when the media started using its tactics to undermine democracy in this country on a clear basis that just has not ended since then. The Republican Party's been dead for a long time, folks. As I said, I only registered Republican so that I could vote in a primary for Donald Trump because I wanted to ensure that people saw that he had a lot of support in Pennsylvania. I have already floated the idea about starting my own political party, not tied to my personality, but tied to America's ideals. Now today, there's news that the youngest member of Congress, no, that's not Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. She'll make that claim, but this guy's 25. He's like the minimum age you can be. He was injured in a car accident a few years back, and he gets around in a wheelchair, so he's handicapped. But or handy-capable, if we're using woke language. Anyway, he's floating the idea of starting a new political party. He used $361,000 of his own money. I don't know how he had the money. Maybe he got it from a settlement from the accident or something, or maybe his family's wealthy. I don't know, but he spent $360,000 of his own money to win the campaign, and he defeated Trump's handpicked successor for Mark Meadows, and then won outright his own in the November election. So congratulations to him. We're going to get to him a little bit, but let's see. What's happening at Cyril? Well, it's the 109th birthday of the African National Congress today, folks, and Cyril Ramaphosa is going to share that with you guys. Okay, so Jason Ventura is here. I don't understand how someone can dislike this video before it starts. Jason, probably because the title is about Cyril Ramaphosa. Also, Jason, there are sad little wankers that hide in their mother's closet, or in the basement and have hate wanks. They dislike the content because truth is spoken. And no, not one of those, out there left nonsense or right nonsense, people who run around and with conspiracy theories about 5G towers and about, Dominion software and all this other stuff. All of that may or may not be true, but I have no evidence, and I don't spew that stuff. I talk about factual things and offer analysis and opinion. And the fact that I'm white and pale skinned and show love and reverence and care for people who look different than me really hurts their feelings. Because when I expose racism by the economic freedom fighters and those in the ANC who are involved in it, and when I expose racism here in America by race merchants like Joe Biden and Kamala Harris, that really hurts leftist bums. Because they can't be racist. Only people that hate black people can be racist. Well, yeah, those would be racist themselves, but hardly a measure of all the racists out there, folks. Let me go ahead. Look at that. We bumped up to 78 very likely. Thank you so much for that. Bye-bye, donkey. Kia le bo. Thank you so much for that. By the way, folks, in case you don't know it here, we love everybody. Well, not leftists. We don't love leftists. Not even remotely true. Nope. Have no use for them. No use for them whatsoever. But I thought today we'd do something a little bit different. And this is what I was going to do, but I'm not going to do it now. I'll just show you a few of these, and you guys give me your thoughts, and I'll catch up on the chat really quickly because my camera's off. I got to reset it here. So let me just get this going here and see how it works. There you go. Okay, check it out, folks. Check it out. So this is the Faroe Islands. I took a trip there back in 2004 when I went to Iceland. And it's quite a beautiful place. It's the remains of an ancient continent in the North Atlantic. And don't worry, we're going to get to the news. I'm just showing you this, guys. I was going to do a stream today before I saw that Ramaphosa had announced that he was going to speak on the ANC's birthday. So once he announced he was going to speak, then I decided that what I would do is I would change my took. So I was not going to do the news today. I was going to cover the Faroe Islands, something nice, a change of pace, so that we all weren't just dealing with the same misery all the time. But let me bring these up on the screen here. You guys can see it. So there goes a lovely village. That's Tórshavn. That's the capital of the Faroe Islands. Beautiful little place. Beautiful place. Hotel I stayed is right down there in that little niche in the corner there by the bay there. You can see it right in there. Anyway, so this is Tórshavn. Yep, in the Faroe Islands. About 46,000 people live in this archipelago of islands, which are the remains of an ancient continent. You can see how it's been worn over millions and tens of millions of years. Check it out there, folks. Down in the water, it's made difficult to see on your screen, but they're actually salmon pens. They raise salmon there, and that's where they have them at. You can see the water coming down from a long waterfall there on the left-hand side. It's quite a beautiful place. Quite a beautiful place. Anyway, so I wanted to show you that. So we'll get started on. Let me get back to the chat. So that's why, Jason. Marianne Muller says maybe the person had just done it out of principle. Yeah, that's another reason, exactly. Just because they disagree. Well, that's fine. I've only given a dislike on things that I found offensive, yeah, that's pretty much it. People that I disagree with, people I don't really care for, whose YouTube videos I've seen, I've never given a dislike to. Never done it. It's just bad form in my book. I'm of the opinion that someone dislikes a video before the content is read, like that person does not like the content creator. Yeah, that's what it is. So then don't come watch the channel. Piss off, footsec, go away. No one asks people to come here. I don't watch Rachel Maddow because she makes my skin crawl. She's disgusting. And she's a patent liar. So I watch her occasionally in clips and occasionally tune in just so that I know she's still spewing, but no. Christian says there, I just liked it too. Chris, boy, dude, some emotion there in your video 2 days ago. Please run for office as you promised in that feed. Well, thank you, Christian. I appreciate that. Yeah, there was a lot of emotion because the media lied about this. Ladies and gentlemen, I wasn't going to talk about this today, but let's go ahead and start on 500,000 people at least. Now, that was my estimate on the ground at the time. And a lot of people have been coming up with the same estimate. Again, I didn't have the viewpoint. If I'd been in the Washington Monument, then I would have had a view of the Capitol and of the ellipse and in front of Washington Monument all at the same time, and I could have made a very good estimate. But from the ground, not elevated, it's difficult to see because some places there's gaps where there aren't people. And, a little gap with about 10 or 20 meters in a crowd that big could be a couple thousand people, 1,000 people, 1,500 people. So it's important to see the whole thing. But clearly, there was at least 500,000 people there. Also, the media simply lied. They're lying about it all now. I did a video about Harris and Biden, their bullshit. No one can tell me that this has been BLM protesters. They wouldn't have been gassed and beaten. It would have been treated differently. Well, you're full of shit, Joe Biden, as is Kamala Harris. Creepy Joe, Sleepy Joe, Jim Crow Joe Biden, the plagiarist in chief. And his associate, the plagiarist-in-chief Jr., stealing stories from Alex Haley and the days of Martin Luther King there, Kamala Harris, and lying about Snoop Dogg. Oh, my gosh. This serial liar is unbelievable. Of course, she did that as the attorney general or the district attorney for San Francisco for 8 years. She lied to get elected. She violated San Francisco campaign finance rules, was fined for it, a record fine. She lied as the attorney general of California. She lies. That's what she does. She does it all the time. She also, now this is hypocrisy. She complains about the Capitol building with good reason, but that's not why she's complaining. She doesn't give a flip about the Capitol building. That does not concern her at all. What concerns her is promoting her black supremacy bullshit, and she's not even black. Kamala Harris raised money for thugs, looters, murderers who were arrested in Minneapolis for their crimes. When they actually bothered to arrest people, she raised money, went around the country and said, raise money for these people. Are you serious? These peaceful protests. You're so full of shit. You're so full of crap. You're absolutely ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. You're comprised of cock, Kamala Harris. Cock Kamala. Cock Kamala Harris. Yeah, both these clowns yesterday got up and haven't even assumed the office, and they're already started their race mercantilism, their race baiting bullshit, trying to divide this country on race. Ooh, somebody bought a mug. Well, thank you so much for that. Awesome. Well, that's pretty cool. Thanks for buying the mug. I hope you enjoy the mug. The logo's pretty cool. I designed the logo for my group. Thank you so much for that. Thanks for buying. Wow. Somebody anonymous bought a mug. Well, thank you so much for that. I appreciate it. I hope it wasn't Brett. I appreciated Brett buys it, but I was hoping someone else would buy it just so someone else buys the merch. But thank you so much for that. So they're just utter nonsense. Please, I didn't promote my videos much last night. I just put it in the WhatsApp group, and I don't think maybe in the Telegram. I didn't put it on any other platforms. I was tired. I made like 4 or 5 videos last night. I have another raw footage video, which I'm going to upload a little bit. I didn't go to bed till after 3 and got up about 7, so I'm a bit knackered from that. I came on for this. That's why I was going to talk about something nice and different, not politics, the Faroe Islands, but I'll get back to that. And then I have the later stream for the Night Owls edition, and then I have Dr. Victor Davis Hanson on the channel, folks. World-renowned top historian, political science, well, he's a historian really, military historian, who covers a lot of politics. You've seen him probably on Fox News and other locations. He's with the Hoover Institution out there at Stanford University in California. He is the world's preeminent expert on the Peloponnesian War living today. He's brilliant. I had him on the channel in September. It was a fantastic stream. That was back in the days when I had about 6,000 subscribers, 7,000 subscribers, and we had 15,000 views on that video. It was awesome. It was really cool. He will be back on the channel today. Unfortunately, for those of you in Africa, it'll be a little bit late. So if you want to watch it live, you're going to have to get up or stay up around midnight. He'll be coming on at 0015, so 15 minutes after midnight in South Africa. So feel free to tune in for that if you like. Dr. Victor Davis Hanson is a rock star, ladies and gentlemen. I'm excited to have him back on the channel. He had agreed to come back on the channel, and I've been in touch with his personal assistant for a long time. I was trying to get her to help me get someone else on the channel that's at the Hoover Institution. Didn't really work out, but I'd always intended to invite him back after the election and after a winner had been certified. Now, we didn't know who that was going to be. It was going to be Sleepy Joe, Creepy Joe, Jim Crow, Joe Biden, or it was going to be Donald John Trump. Well, now we know that because of Pennsylvania's fraud and total 4 states violating their election laws, which means they're all fraudulent, that Donald Trump has not won the election, but in fact it goes to Joe Biden. And so Joe Biden will be the president. So I always intended to talk to him, and that was the plan, ladies and gentlemen. So he will be here today. We're going to talk about the election so much. Someone else bought a premium tea. Wow. Thank you, guys. A white one, huh? Now, is it actually white or is it a different color one? Okay, well, thanks for buying it. Brett's got one of those. Thank you, whoever anonymous is. I really appreciate you buying that. The premium's the nice, soft stuff like that. You know, Mike Lindell's My Pillow, Egyptian cotton, only from the Delta. Yeah, well, that's that really nice, soft cotton. I'm not a big fan of it. It feels nice, but I don't like care so much for shirts, but people really like it. Anyway, so so we're going to talk about what's next, what the future holds, and also I sent him a note and let him know that I was there, so he may want to ask me questions about my time on Capitol Hill. Anyway, so let's get back to the comments here. Hendo Cyril comes on, everyone can dislike, don't like it. That's funny. Here we go again. ANC Communist Criminal going to talk cock. Yep. Okay. Robin is here. Hey, Robin. René Duhoy, Teresa Baumann, Niels Henriksen. That is a cool Scandinavian name, Niels Henriksen. Welcome, Niels. Pleasure to have you there. Robin, look at that face. How dare they celebrate the ANC's birthday? I feel sick. Yeah, who cares about the ANC's birthday? Unless you're a member of the African National Congress. I don't care about the Republican National Party's birthday. I don't care about the Democratic Party birthday. Who cares? Unless you're in the structures of those parties. I'm not a member of the ANC, so why should Bozo, Ramaphosa, tell the country about celebrating the heritage of the ANC? Who cares? We're not all members of the ANC, and most of us aren't. People don't want to be. Your party is corrupt, venal, vindictive, and disastrous for South Africa. You've had 26 years to build upon the genius that you inherited and dismantle the unfair parts of the government. And what you did is you reinforced the unfair, but you simply turned it against a different ethnic group. And there you go. Let's see. Here we go. Bradley Cook, I do not know how much longer I can sit in this waiting room with that face sticking in my screen. Oh, that's all before we even started. Olaf is here. Ginola Rose is here. Bradley Cook. I've had some people whining about moderators being abusive. I haven't seen that, but if one of my moderators is being abusive, I'll tell you, stop, full stop. I haven't seen it, so I don't know what that's about. I'm waiting for a response from that person. Christine Jacobs is here. Matilda Becker, good to see you again. HBM Air. Yeah, and then, maybe he'll announce level 5. We'll see. I don't actually think Ramaphosa is going to talk lockdown. Yeah, I don't think so either. He's going to talk about the glory of the African National Congress, how it single-handedly defeated apartheid. It only took them 70 years to pull it off. Yeah, 80 years. He doesn't have the decency to talk to us. He'll talk at you, Bradley. Afrikaans is my taal, Afrikaans giet in staal, Afrikaans is my bloed, Afrikaans my liefdesgloed. I can't say those G words. ANC's legacy, Thabo Mbeki disbanded the farm commander units. Well, it wasn't in 2000. It was after 2000, Brett. But yeah, it started around, when was that? That was around 2006, 2005, 2006, 2007. Rosa Wheeler wants to talk about vaccines from India that who bought? The ANC? Who bought them? And Bormeister's back. Happy Friday. Yeah, it's a lekker Freitag. Freitag. Unfortunately, not so great. It's Footsec ANC Friday. GP Rux. It should be the burial of the ANC. Okay. Thabo Mbeki also refused AIDS contraceptive drugs with U.S. and UK donating for free. Yeah, not only did he refuse them, he actively intervened to prevent the distribution of Verapine to expectant mothers, which at the time reduced the transmission of HIV through the birth canal or a C-section from HIV-positive mothers to their offspring who didn't have it, but as it came out, they got it and infected. It reduced it by 50% at the time. These days, nevirapine and the subsequent drugs that have come out since then have reduced that by over 90%. To not give an expectant mother that drug, which does no harm to the mother, but prevents HIV from being transmitted to an unborn child, is criminal. And over 500,000 South Africans are dead because of Thabo Mbeki. Olive LG, welcome to you from Pretoria. Will Woods, Brett keeps some, what's it? South Africa averages 50 murders. Yep, they do. Basson de Villiers, Deborah Anderson, Will Woods, Rion Negrini, ANC is on the brink of bankruptcy. No, they're already bankrupt. They're only surviving off of handouts from the IMF, the World Bank, the African Development Bank, and the BRICS Bank. Quentin Nagel says, thanks for the coverage. My pleasure. Afraid of not. Welcome to you. What's got there? Bradley Cook. Tonic, welcome back, Tonic. The Republican Party was nullified by impotent, gutless career politicians. Yeah, I can't disagree with that. I'm going to buy your Indaba mug again. Oh, okay. A South African friend of mine wants it. Do you ship there? No, I don't ship to South Africa, Brett. It's a hassle to ship Brett to South Africa. Number one, because of the lockdown, the U.S. Postal Service has suspended its air shipments overseas. You can still ship by air, but what they do is everything you send is simply sent to DHL, and DHL ships it. So you're paying the post office and DHL. And then there's no guarantee it'll get there. I sent something to Ronaldo Hos and someone else in South Africa back at the beginning of September. It took almost 7 weeks, six weeks before they got it. It arrived there in 3 days. It should have been the next day. It was next day, but it arrived in 3 days. And then it sat in customs, in immigration, and they refused to do anything with it. And they made it difficult on the person who got it. Then they charged them VAT on top of it. Now, you see that bullshit? When South Africa sends their goods to here, there's no VAT applied. None. Because they have duty-free access to our country. But the other way around, I sent personal items to a South African, and they're charged duty as if they purchased something. It's bullshit. But that's the corrupt, venal government of the ANC, and they'll steal. So I had to pay $300 to ship it there, Brett. So that's a box that was included a mug and some little sachets of coffee and some caps, some trumpet caps. That cost $300, and it was only a couple pounds of weight. And they didn't get it for 6 weeks. So while this nonsense goes on with COVID-19, you really can't ship things effectively. Once that's lifted, the U.S. Postal Service will go back to where they hire contractors, contract flights, and they'll put their freight around the world for international shipments on there. The price will come back down. That box would cost more like $80 or $90, not $300, and it'll get there in about 2 weeks. But it's still expensive to ship a mug. So the mugs, the kit and the gear solution for South Africa is something I still have to work out. Anyway. 181 people watching. Thank you all so much. Thank you for buying that, Brett. Let's see what else. Shack Dwellers here. I'm missing people. Transconservative waifu, welcome back. Where have you been hiding? Missed you in your lovely little pixie avatar. Love that avatar. We are having a lekker Freitag on Brei listening to your stream and a lovely evening here. Well, this is coming live from Botswana, ladies and gentlemen. Laisan is in Botswana. Shh, don't tell anybody. She feels safe there. Don't tell anybody. Anyway, how's it, future governor? Thank you, Christian Gerhard. Appreciate that. Print your own and send super chat. This is how many people go to Biden's inauguration, maybe 20. It's going to be virtual. That's why I found it comical that the steps are there and that the television camera's there. So that must be for the Congress to come out and sit, but there's not going to be any people in the street. It's virtual, so it's ridiculous. Anyway, all right, so back to the stuff I want to talk about here, folks. So very quickly, let me show you another picture from the Faroe Islands and no one said anything about the Faroe Islands. Did you not impressed? Didn't find that interesting? You guys tell me. Anyway, so this is what the Faroe Islands is like. Check this out, if it'll load. The islands are vertical, not like this. So it's hard to get from here to there because you got to go through mountains and they shoot right up out of the ocean and they're very steep. So what happens is that they dug these tunnels all through them so that cars and transport can get there. You used to have to just get around by boats, but now with cars, so they dug all these tunnels. Check out these tunnels, folks. This is wow. So here's a car coming out of the tunnel in the Faroe Islands where I was at. Now that's wide enough for 2 cars, but it narrows once you're in the middle. You get in the middle of this, it's like that one's 2.3 kilometers long. You get halfway through it and a car's coming right at you head on. And there's only like 2 or 3 pull-offs inside the tunnel. So you have to back up in the tunnel. And they're not lit, by the way. Did I mention that? Whoa. It is an adventure. You feel like a goat when you're in the Faroe Islands, folks. Check it out. But it's an amazing place. That tunnel was built in 1967. This is the opposite end after I came out of it. I stopped there, and I took this picture because I just couldn't resist. And it was smart because it turns out I don't think I took any more tunnel photos. Yeah, it was pretty cool. Also, trans-conservatives in KZN. I didn't know that. Johan van der Merwe from Northwest. Welcome to you. Pray for you under Biden. Well, I pray for myself, too. It's going to be miserable. So we'll see what happens. They've already started their nonsense. But when I got out to take the pictures, I was accosted. And I didn't call the police. I was accosted. Listen, the Faroese are wonderful people. I enjoy them. I couldn't understand a word they were saying. Their Old Norse or Faroese is so complicated. Even with my Germanic languages, I had a hard time following what they were saying. But I will say this about them. They were pretty much wonderful people, except this one altercation I had. When I got out to take the pictures of that tunnel, on the other side was one of those fjords there, but behind me was the tunnel. I got out, and I was accosted. And these 2 Faroese would not leave me alone. They were very aggressive. They're very threatening. They really, really piss me off. I'm telling you what, let me show you a picture of them. I never did report them to police, but these two, they came after me. They chased me. They were squawking at me. They were making all kinds of noise. They were threatening me. They were very dangerous Faroese, folks. So this was my experience in the Faroe Islands. Here they are. There they are right there. Those bastards right there tried to attack me in the Faroes. They got close enough to bite my ankles. I had to chase them away. Now this is when they started. You see them. They're testing the ground. They've got their necks turned away from me. They're already squawking in an aggressive manner, putting their necks out there like they're going to come attack me. They're getting a sense about how vulnerable I am, whether they can take me down. And moments later, they swung around and came running at me full speed, trying to bite me. I had to return the aggression. When these nasty, dastardly Faroese attempted to attack me, this is what I had to do. I turned around at them. They stopped running, but they held their ground and they lifted up their wings and got aggressive. Boss, that's not the longest tunnel. That's just the one I took a picture of. There are longer tunnels in the Faroe Islands, I think. And they're everywhere. Yeah, they are nasty, bad-tempered, Bradley. That's right. Lynette Dietrichs, welcome to you. Yeah, they were nasty little turds. So, frankly, I should have reported them to the police, but since I don't speak Faroese, I don't really think they would understand me. Besides, I was having trouble with the hire that I got from Avis. The only time in my life I've ever been disappointed with Avis, because Avis isn't there. They have a local car rental place, and they just, associate with Avis. So I rented a car, and this guy just gave me a car that obviously must have been, his old car, and he kept it in the dealership rather than a decent new car. And so I had a car that was constantly trying to stall out on me. Well, folks, you're listening to Chris White Africa here on the Adaba Africa channel. We're talking about a whole host of items today in advance of South African National Congress President Cyril Ramaphosa giving a birthday address on the 109th birthday of the African National Congress, founded back in 1912. And so he'll be on here in about a half an hour, and I guess we'll cover it. We'll see. But anyway, so yeah, geese are quite nasty, quite nasty. Celebrating their professional steal, and very useless, is Donovan Luck. Well, Donovan, I got you. Hey, I see a lot of new names in here. What's going on? Where are all these new names coming from? Welcome to the stream, by the way. And if you're not a subscriber, why not? It's free. Doesn't cost anything. And yes, I am wearing a rugby jersey today. No one's asked about that, or I didn't see you ask. Oh, I'm on Top Chat. That's why. Sorry, this thing. You got to remember to change this thing. So now I'm in live chat. There you go. Rugby United New York, the 2021 home jersey. There you go. Beautiful color scheme. Got Major League Rugby on there. There you go. Rugby United New York. That's right. I had to snow geese, good watchdogs. Yeah, they're loud. They make a lot of noise, and they keep you alert. Considering the ferocity, they should be a sports team name for you. Exactly, Light Rain. Everyone looks at geese like the gooses. Oh, so lovely. They're so nice. No, they are nasty little buggers. Nasty buggers. They are trouble. Hey, Top Secrets. Welcome to you. What are you talking about? The subscribe button costs an arm and a leg. No, it doesn't. It doesn't cost a penny. Subscription is free. Membership cost. There wasn't membership on this channel till the middle of June. For months, I refused to do the membership, even though I was eligible to do it, and I just didn't do it for a while. But people kept asking for it, so I finally did it. Membership, folks. Membership costs money, and membership's not expensive here. If you want to become a member for the channel, it's $10 for the top level. It's $5 for the middle level and $2 for the lower level. And in South Africa, you don't get charged $2. They charge you 10 Rand. That's a shy of $10 by major impeachment announcement. What's this House? Democrats make their move. These venal, craven, vindictive bastards in the House of Representatives. Let's see. Democrats are looking to bounce the president. Nancy Pelosi. Oh, this is an old news story. This is Western Journal. They bring some good news, but it's always behind, way behind. Anyway, so yeah, they brought this. Let's see. Did you hear about the U.S. investment firm buying ownership of the Sharks? Yes, that's the group that's actually run by a South African. Most people don't know that. They were trying to buy part of the Stormers. I didn't hear that. I heard they wanted to buy the Sharks, but I didn't hear they did. The price that they offered for the Stormers was insulting, and it was ridiculous. And the Western Province Rugby Union nearly sold, and it was ridiculous. So I'm glad they didn't. Citroen. No, it was like a Ford or an Opel or something like that. Yeah, geese are also the best lawnmowers as well as watchdogs. Well, yeah, as long as you don't play in your lawn because they cock all over the place. Man, we have Canada goose that fly around here in freaking bands. They're like roving toitsy, crapping all over the place, shitting on sidewalks, on grass. Oh, it's disgusting. And their stuff stinks. It's worse than cow manure. I don't mind cow manure. I used to be a farmer, but goose shit, ugh, gross. Ugh, nasty, nasty, nasty. Nasty, nasty, nasty. Anyway, so Martin Ruth says geese are also the best. Yeah, okay. Anyway, folks, yeah, so Croy Thompson's here. Did you hear? Oh, that was who asked the question. Sorry, Croy. Missed that. But yeah, I do have some rugby news today. We'll talk a little bit about that. Just get it to load here. For some reason, the page isn't loaded. I don't know why. Anyway, so Pete Gowan says, hi from freezing Peterborough. Still following you from here. Well, thanks, Pete. Appreciate that. I do appreciate people following the channel. Wow, I think people must have left to go to Ronaldo or Joe Emilio's channel because they just came on live in advance of Cyril, who will be on at the top of the hour. So they popped on. So don't let me forget about Cyril, folks. We're going to cover that, but I just want to get to this very quickly. Now, here we go. Boom, 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 boom. Let's try to help. So, Western Province had their final season game against the Sharks canceled because of COVID hysteria. Look at that empty stadium, and they have COVID hysteria. So that game was canceled. And so the season's over, and Western Province will finish in second place in the Curry Cup, which is now called the Carling Curry Cup after that nasty beer. Yes, there you go. At least they have a sponsor, so I can't complain about that. Look at Steven Kitsoff right there. You can spot him a mile away with that ginger hair. Wow. And they're going to play the semifinal. That'll be their next game. Yeah, and they'll play against the Sharks. I don't know the date. It must be next week or the week after. I don't know. But anyway, so they'll be playing that game coming up. So the Sharks will be their opponent in the semifinal. There you go. Go Bulls, says Hank Klopper. Well, it's okay, Hank. We love you on this channel, so you can get away with that. It's me again. No, it's me again. Stop it. It's me again. Not you. It's me. Anyway, Nigel says, I really don't know if I want to listen to the man. Well, Nigel, thank you for tuning in for this. I appreciate it. Look at my audience is shrinking as they all disappear to Ronaldo. Is Ramon streaming too? Is Jerem doing it? Is that where you're all going? Let me know. We had 180 people a couple minutes ago. Now we're down to 150. You don't like rugby? You don't like geese? Come on. Anyway, for those who are new to the channel, if you're not familiar with it, we cover news and events all over Africa with a big focus on Southern Africa and South Africa in particular. Why? Because South Africa has been a place of great interest to me for 40 years at least, ever since I read James Mitchell's book, The Covenant, a historical fiction book about South Africa. I fell in love with South Africa, and I've been following it ever since. I've lived in Africa in 8 different countries, worked in over 30, close to 40 or thereabouts in Africa, and I used to live in Botswana, so I was in South Africa pretty much every weekend. And yeah, so we talk a lot about it. In South Africa, I have special affinity with 3 different groups of people, or 4 different groups of people that really interest me. That's the Afrikaners in South Africa, the Coloreds in South Africa, the Afrikaans-speaking Coloreds, the Tswana people from Northwest and the Free State, and the Basotho people from the Free State, all of whom interest me a great deal. Would like to promote their culture and their language and their identity here on the channel. Not exclusively, but I'm on the, another dislike. Thank you for that. Enjoy that hate wank. It's there you go. So that's South Africa. I promote Botswana, Namibia. I do not promote Zimbabwe, although I love Zimbabwe. It's a wonderful country, and Zimbabweans tend to be well-mannered, respectful, wonderful people who are capable of amazing things. Unfortunately, they live under a repressive, totalitarian, fascist state and have since 1980. Not that they didn't live under a repressive state before that, but they definitely live under a repressive state since 1980, which is hell-bent on pilfering and stealing everything of the country and criminalizing any behavior that is in opposition to their criminal rule. Ruled by the tyrant and the venal Robert Gabriel Mugabe for 37 years until he was finally ousted in his ancient nongenarian decade of life. That's a sad, sad country with a sad situation. Anyway, so Cynthia Keller says, not interested in Ramaphosa, the African National Congress, will be watching a movie. Well, cool. Well, I'm glad you're here now, Cynthia. I appreciate that. It'll be interesting to see what happens. Now, I see what happened when Ronaldo came on and when Joe Emilio came on. We lost about 30 people on the stream who took off. I suspect most went to Ronaldo. And they're welcome to do that. Folks, watch whatever you want, whichever you find interesting. Feel free to do that. I hope you find this interesting. Stay here. Now, we'll be curious to see if Ramaphosa does come on, what happens to the number of viewers? Will the number decline further? We shall see in short order in about 20 minutes, folks. Not interested at the end. Okay, so what did Boss? Oh, you're talking about that. The people at the border coming to South Africa, I hope, shocked people as the Zim problem is ours, as 80% economic active people. Yeah, most Zimbabweans who are active economically are in South Africa or the United Kingdom. Some in the U.S. So there you go. Absolutely true. So let me get back to the news here very quickly, folks, and then I'll get back to some photos of the Faroe Islands. Which should we do first? Anyway, so let's do this one. Representative-elect Madison Cawthorn, 25 years of age, wants to create a new Republican Party that inspires young people. North Carolina representative defied the odds in life and politics. He wasn't expected to live, folks. So he beat out a candidate backed by President Trump and became the youngest member of Congress at the age of 25. So Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez can no longer carry that distinction, thank goodness. Anything that gives her attention is unfortunate. So he wants a brand new Republican Party that is bold and inspirational. Republicans can no longer be the party of no and dodge thorny issues like health care and the environment. We're not dodging it, Matthew. You're a little mistaken, young man. You're inexperienced in youth. You probably really don't understand what we're talking about there. And I'm not one of the people you're talking about, but no one's dodging the environment. But we're not going to destroy our lives to save a fraction of carbon dioxide emissions in the environment that have no impact on the environment when nearly all carbon dioxide in the air is a natural development. See, folks, here's the thing. What kills me is that vegetation, trees produce most of the carbon dioxide on this planet, and they seem to be disconnected from that reality. So should we deforest the planet? That's not going to help. It's going to make things worse because they're actually heat sinks. Anyway, they consume carbon. Oh, sorry, misspoken. They consume the carbon dioxide and keep it under control, and then we release the carbon dioxide. But most of the carbon dioxide in the atmosphere is actually naturally occurring. Sorry, I misspoke there. I'm tired. I'm knackered. Misspoke. Don't quote me. That was misstatement because I'm tired. You can see it in my face. I'm tired. Do the Faroe Islands have Egyptian geese? I don't know, Clem, if that's the case. No wonder there was no load shedding. Yeah, because ANC speech. Exactly. Lynette says no load shedding so that everyone can watch the glorious Ramaphosa speech. Yep, exactly. It's trending on Twitter. Yeah, Twitter's dying, folks. People are leaving it in droves. The people who are diehard Trump fans will probably abandon Twitter, many of them for good, as Trump has been abused on Twitter. So it's interesting that these tech companies are more powerful than the President of the United States. They feel they have the right to censor the President of the United States. Wow. Okay. So that's that. Let's get back because I want to do this again. I really enjoy the Faroe Islands thing. So those nasty geese, let me take them off the screen because they were very, very dangerous. Oh, here you go. This is when they decided to, they just kind of taking a break, doing a little self-grooming there. Here you go. Did a little grooming. Look at the one still watching me there. He's making sure that his partner's not being attacked. Yeah, that's within about a meter of me. That's how close they got when they stopped. The little turds. Yep. Yep. There you go. New Green Deal advocates and greenies never call out China, who are the biggest polluters. What? China and India. China, India, and Brazil. Biggest polluters on the planet, and they don't call them out. They also never give the United States credit. The United States, I've been through this whole narrative before, folks, but let me just do it very quickly. The United States did not sign the Kyoto Protocol. We refused. But we adhered to its, there we go, super chat. Thank you, Adrian. Appreciate the super chat. Please give a shout out to my third mother, Marie, who listens with us with great interest. Well, Marie, thank you for listening. I appreciate it. I hope that you find the content interesting, compelling, appealing, and that you come back and you share it with your friends and family so we get more viewers on the channel. Really looking forward to growing the channel. Active volcanoes and natural carb. Yeah, that's a big release of it, Bass. Thank you. Thank you. I misspoke. So, but that's one of them. 30 contacts joined Telegram just today. There you go, bro. That's awesome. Twitter allowed the Iran leader and not the president. Exactly. They allow the fascist theocratic leader of a rogue state to tweet endlessly. Did you see Iraq issued a warrant for the arrest of Donald Trump? I almost said it. I almost said the F word to Iraq. You know what? I think we should go to Iraq and take their oil now. Bastards. Oh, my God. Talk about gratitude. Oh, what a bunch of ingrates. Pull every U.S. troop out of Iraq and let the place collapse again. We don't care. Anyway, because Donald Trump ordered the strike on Soleimani, the person who killed at least 600 Americans. And so, he should never have been in Iraq. He was in Iraq illegally, and we dealt with it because they refused to. It's true that Alka-Seltzer and geese... Is it true that elk and geese, in that if they eat it, they'll explode? No, I've never tried that. Oh, if they eat you mean one of the tablets? I don't know. Their stomach's probably small. It might be the case. Just about to give up. Can't handle. That's mean. That's mean, Croy. I wouldn't do something like that. Things are happening in the skies. Free state. Stay up late and see destiny. Okay. The average age of Democrats Congress is over 72. Many in their mid-80s. They will die out soon. Yeah, but they'll be replaced by the likes of Ayanna Pressley, Ilhan Omar, Rashida Tlaib, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, and other vile people. So, folks, don't get too excited about that. Roy Hayes, I'm with you all the way. Well, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Let me, oops, that went too far. Shoot. Come back here. Shoot, I have to do that again. I just lost my page. There we go. Sorry, I lost my page. Now I'm back to it. Anyway, so yeah, I wanted to show you, this is what I was dealing with. Let me show you this, guys. You're going to love this. This gets to come up. This is pretty cool when I was in the Faroes. So here you go. See that fog coming up? That's the road I drove up a side of a mountain. This is after I was escaping it. But you'll see some other pictures here that go back. Look at that. Just came up. And this is every day. And the visibility is 0 when this hits. Here I'm trying to drive up and get out of it. Look at that. Isn't that something? Whew, wow. There you go. There you go. Isn't that cool? Really beautiful. Floating mountains. Yeah, they look like they're floating, Larsalis. That's a good statement there. Bruce says, the anarchist in me says, let it burn, but reset, but not like the way they want to. I don't want to see anything burn. Trees and green vegetation are the main converters of CO2 to oxygen. Yes, thank you, Erica. That's what I was trying to say. I said it the other way around. I misspoke. Maybe ANC will reminisce about the South African First Dispensation. I doubt that. Don't really care for him, but Moore's plan of the humans tells the truth. No disrespect, would try to lose the, oh my God, not good for thee in destiny. Okay. No insult, disrespect taken. Didn't realize I said OMG. Okay. So here we go. Look at this. Man, isn't that gorgeous? There you go. Look at that fjord. Little houses nestled down at the bottom of that fjord. I couldn't resist. That was a cool shot. I thought it was a really nice photograph there with that little shed out there. And there's sheep in the background. You can't see them. There's one in the top left-hand corner. There's one sheep there. There you go. Check it out. Pretty cool, huh? Yeah, so that was the Faroe Islands. I'll show you more of that, folks. But I need to talk about this too. I was a subscriber to The Economist from the 1980s until last year. I valued The Economist so much because it had anonymous articles, so its authors weren't, like Woodward and Bernstein just trying to, stroke their ego with their bylines. So if you wrote for The Economist and you went to look for another job, it was on your CV. People knew that you went for The Economist, and you could take your body of work and they could verify it. So it wasn't about your ego. And they were a British publication, and they had the American survey and the British survey. So I was kept very well informed on UK events, and they did a good job looking from the outside into the United States. And they were one of the few publications that covered much of the rest of the world. So when I was interested in Nagorno-Karabakh or Abkhazia, I could read about it in The Economist, nowhere else but in The Economist, and every week. And I valued this so much so that I was paying over $100 a year for a subscription when my salary was just a few $1,000s per year. That's how important it was to me. And on a trip to the UK in 1992, when all the collieries were being shut down, they're shutting down the coal mines in the UK, putting people in Wales and parts of England in desperate financial straits. When that happened, I actually went to the London office of The Economist and renewed my subscription, and I paid with a check on my bank account from the States. So, excuse me. So that's how much I valued The Economist. But they have slid for the last 16 years, 18 years to the left, and have become a useless propaganda arm of the left. Top Secret says, happy Friday, Wyatt Tribe. That's a fact, Jack. Thank you. I've gotten miles and miles out of you doing that line on Wednesday. Cool. That's a fact, Jack. It was awesome. Stripes, people love Stripes at the time. I thought it was entertaining, but it wasn't one of the best movies, but it did have its moments. Yeah, I like it. There's just some lines from movies you like. My favorite one's the black guy in Lethal Weapon. Not Lethal Weapon, in Die Hard, the original Die Hard, when they pull out the they're pulling out the bazooka, the anti-tank thing to shoot the LA cops are coming down there in a little armor vehicle, and he's chewing that gum. He's like, look at this, Look at that. The police got themselves an RV. That's just one of my favorite lines. Anyway, back to The Economist. So The Economist is nothing but a propaganda rag for the left, the political left. Everything they do, nothing but tissue of lies, coded in facts and distorted with opinion. So here's another one here. This is supposed to be news, not opinion. So let me tell you about this, okay? Far-right digital media paved the way for the riot in Washington. Alt-riot. But prospects for the niche platforms it favors are clouded. Now, let me tell you why I take an issue with this. Not with the story. It's newsworthy. The assault on the Capitol building by these thugs who were organized and orchestrated and who were there before protesters arrived. That's what the media doesn't tell you. I was there. They were there before people arrived and already agitating and attacking the police when there was almost no one around. That's the lie that's not being told because the media is corrupt. The issue I have with this is that this sort of coverage was non-existent in Minneapolis, in Seattle, in Portland, in Philadelphia and Atlanta, in New York City, as people were murdered, billions of dollars of property destroyed, police stations ransacked, weapons stolen. Virtual silence from The Economist. Yes, they covered it, but they covered it in a glorious fashion as if it was just and righteous when it was corrupt and venal and terroristic. That's what was going on. Anyway, good Lord. News 24 is disabled. What's disabled at News 24? Let me see. I've been thinking of immigrating to St. Helena Island. Anyone interested in joining me? Ukraine may issue a warrant for Biden. That'd be great. I hope they do. Coverage was not on the 2016 inauguration when Antifa was burning. Yeah, no, 2017. Yeah, January 2017. The coverage was glorifying that. We see Don Lemonhead talking about, well, perhaps this is a necessary thing to get a proper reset of American society. You disgusting clown. I'm not going to say it. CNN said peaceful protests, but burning buildings in the background. Yes, they did. I recall. And Kamala Harris raised money to bail out the criminals who attacked police stations, murdered people. She raised money for it, proudly, openly. And this is the incoming vice president. We have a gangster state. Someone bought. Oh, that's an awesome hoodie, man. That hoodie rocks. That hoodie rocks. That's a good one. That's the good one. I don't even have that one. I have the other one, which is light blue. I came up with that one after the fact. That kind of teal color is awesome. Thank you for buying that. I appreciate it. Replayed the line over and over since then, and every time the same way. Nigel Press. It was told that they were led into the building. Are you talking about DC, Olaf? As far as DC, no one was allowed into the building that I'm aware of. I wasn't there when it happened. I'm simply reviewing footage, listening to what's happening, talking to people who were present. I left at 2:00. None of that had happened. There had been trouble, and there were criminal acts for which I've offered my video footage to law enforcement if they wanted to prosecute people. But there was no invasion. Everyone was still behind the barrier, which was a bad spot to put the barrier. I don't know what the hell they were thinking. It was a very poor decision what was going on there. But nonetheless, what did happen is that the Capitol Police opened the barriers and let people storm the steps on both sides of the building. I don't even know if there were barriers on the east side of the building. The main spot, which is the west side, which faces the mall, which is where I was at, that's where people are at. But I'm telling you, it was organized. I know it was organized because when they weren't making any progress because they couldn't get anybody in the crowd to join their bullshit, that's what's happening. When that happened, we're about 8 minutes away from Cyril. He's supposed to show up. When that happened, folks, they couldn't get any of us to join. In fact, we were disparaging them and telling them to knock their horse shit off. When they couldn't get us, a few of them were frustrated because they couldn't break through the line. They didn't want to break through the line. They wanted other people to break through, and then they could meld into the crowd. Because if they broke through on their own, the police could have contained them and arrested the few dozen of them who were there that were agitating from where I was at. Now, there was more of the building. I wasn't in front of all of it. But what happened was they couldn't get anywhere. So about a dozen or so of them, they said, there's a side entrance. Come on, let's go this way. And I saw them take off with their Kevlars and all their weird gear and people that weren't even in the march. I didn't see anywhere in the mall the entire day. I challenged people to find them in the footage I have. They were not in the footage, these people. And they weren't carrying Kevlar helmets and body armor around in a rucksack hidden because you would have seen the bulges on the rucksack. Anyway, point is that they disappeared, and that's the people who started breaking the windows on the side, on the south side of the Capitol building, I believe. So, yeah, all orchestrated, but the Capitol Police did open the barriers and let people storm the steps. So that's on them. And while that's wrong, if you arrived at that event and the barriers were open and the police were standing there letting you walk by, what would you assume? That it's open access. However, climbing on the side of the building, scaling the building, obviously very wrong. Anyway, the media talks about terrorism. Remember when a Democrat extremist took an AK-47? Yes, that Steve Scalise was nearly killed. He's still suffering lifelong injuries and afflictions as a consequence of that. I met Steve Scalise, by the way, at the Republican Club in D.C. when I went down there to talk to a group of people about Africa. Yep. All right, so Kamala is a person who innocent people in prison. Yeah, she put innocent people in prison. She's despicable. She also boasted about smoking marijuana. But of course, that's after she'd been Attorney General of California and put thousands of people in jail for possession of marijuana. She is a fraud, a hypocrite, and a shyster. So she and Joe Biden will make a great pair. Notice how she called Joe Biden a racist and demanded he apologize, yada, yada, yada. All is forgiven because it was bullshit. None of it was real. Not that Joe Biden's not a racist. I think he is a racist. He's an anti-white American. He is a self-loathing, vile person, and he is the president-elect. There you go. I'm sure they would pay people to be at Biden's fool's crowning as pre-president. Can anyone remember the island where they sent Boris? St. Helena. It was St. Helena. That's where they sent him. Yep. Anyway, so a little bit more news here, folks. Let me check on Ramaphosa real quick and see what's going on there. If he's actually going to come on. If you're going to leave, let me know. No, I'm just kidding. You guys can leave if you want. You don't have to listen to it. It's going to be nonsense. If he just prattles on for a long time and praises and glorifies. Ooh, Ronaldo's got 775 people watching. Wow, that's why I lost some people. Ha ha. Wow. Wow. Anyway, so let's see what's going on here, folks. If I can find something very quickly. Well, Jacques Boutman, he's supposed to start at noon. Whether he starts at noon, we'll see. Is he already on? Let's see what's going on here. I don't think he's on now, is he? Did he start?
And now Kosadu.
No, okay, he's not on. This is the prep. These are the toads that come before him that praise the great and wondrous African National Congress, an organization that tarnished its reputation and doesn't deserve any glory. The African National Congress was a liberation movement that accomplished some things quite well before it became a terrorist organization in the early 1960s. And then it was dismantled from a terrorist standpoint for a long time. And it was ineffective and played virtually no role in the changes taking place in South Africa from the 1960s to 1970s. It wasn't until the mid-1980s after their venal criminals went to Vietnam and learned how to defeat a major power that they came back and they were a factor. But only a factor because they made the townships ungovernable and they necklaced and murdered thousands of innocent South Africans. That's how they rose to power and influence. And then, of course, the international media in collusion promoted the ANC over the Pan-African Congress, over all these other groups that were fighting for the end of apartheid. They were favored by the media. And so this glorious history of the ANC, which is largely fiction and utter nonsense, like how they defeated the South African Defense Force. They didn't defeat the South African Defense Force. They were a non-factor. In fact, there are a few veterans, about 2,500, who actually appeared in the bush in Angola. More of them were killed by their own cadres than engaged in combat. It's just an utter tissue of lies. The African National Congress had a noteworthy and praiseworthy legacy, but they've tarnished it. Their pervasive corruption, their racialization of every aspect of society, their venal, craven desire for power overall, by taking someone indicted for criminal acts as mayor of Durban, and then so that person gets a paycheck, installing them into the provincial council. And when the news finds out about it, they say, no, okay, well, you're suspended, but you still get paid. And then 4 months later, come back and quietly active in the council. This is a corrupt party full of criminals. There was a time that the ANC had legitimate patriotic South Africans in the party who actually cared about the future of South Africa, about a market-based economy, about a multiracial society, a rainbow nation. Now, this country is run by thugs. It's run by Zumacrats. And Ramaphosa is one of the biggest Zumacrats out there. Yep. Anyway, they're trying to teach everybody to keep silent. Yeah, that's part of it. That's true. Maybe Squirrel will cry again. Wouldn't that be nice to see him cry? It's so fake. It's so fake. At least when I cry, it's real. Anyway, let's get back to what I want to show you guys here. So, yeah, this is what the Economist had to say. So, the alt-right, far-right digital media paved the way for the riot in D.C. I disagree with that. Now, look at this. You see that guy with that body armor and that helmet on? I didn't see anybody like that. And these goggles. You see all this stuff? The right at the America's capital in January was at least partly born in social media. After Donald Trump encouraged his supporters to come to Washington to protest, platforms such as Parler, Telegram, and Spreely created less moderated alternatives, were awash with calls to swarm the city. Well, if they were awash with calls to storm the city, then how come the economists didn't warn anybody? Journalists have responsibility. If you know a crime is going to occur, why didn't you tell someone? Why didn't the Department of Homeland Security get involved? It is, after all, a federal city. Why didn't all the surrounding counties and municipalities and state police in Maryland and Virginia provide law enforcement? Where was the reserve force? No. I'm not buying this. You blame this on social media? No, I blame this on a failure of leadership. And anyway, so this is just nonsense. So they go on. But this article is meant to disparage Parler. I've already expressed my views about Parler and its shortcomings. And these other ones, I don't follow Gab. Anyway, so it's they're very snarky. So they're going after Telegram. They're going after Spreely. I don't even know Spreely, to be honest. And they're going after anyway. So they say disparaging things like this. Parler, a Twitter clone founded in 2018, was for part of November the most downloaded app from Apple and Google. For another outlet, Gab claimed to be the fastest growing alternative media platform on the internet and bragged that at its current pace, it would have more views than the Wall Street Journal by the second quarter of 2021. That's a bit like tracking a teenager's rapid growth and concluding that at current rates, he will be 8 meters tall at the age of 60. These platforms may find converting current popularity into long-term stability difficult. Yeah, well, it took The Economist 25 years to find a way to make the internet profitable for their publication, and they still survive off their print subscription, not off of what they make on the internet. So, yeah, that's a little bit snarky. And here's another one. Now, this one's utter bullshit. I'm not believing this for a second. This is from YouGov. By the way, YouGov is an online poll. I participate in YouGov. You're supposed to get points for discounts, whatever. I've been doing it for years. It's not scientific. Anyone on the internet can sign up for it. And this is what they say. So that's not a proper poll, but it's a poll. But anyway, here you go. So check this out, folks. Here you go. Okay, it's 12:01 now. Let me look and see if ANC's, if he's there. Nope, he's still not up. They still got people babbling on. Oh, and look at this prominent right behind the South African Communist Party, Moses Madiba Province. Look at that. Wow. You got. So I'm going to show that just for a second here, folks, so you can see it. Look at that. Look at that. There's the ANC. Communist. That's not Cyril. He's got a round face like Cyril, but that's not Cyril. So we'll get to Cyril in a moment. Are you a rugby fan? You are a rugby fan. You enjoy the film called Blood and Glory. It's about Boer prison in St. Helena. Yeah, I know. I know the film. I've never watched it, but I'm familiar with it. I know the story too, but I've never seen it. How many people went into the Capitol building? It looked like about 100. Vernon, no one's released statistics, but based on the images I saw, now they entered in multiple locations. That's the problem. There were between 100 and 200. I think the number is probably close to about 120. And so 500,000 people being lied about and denigrated. And even if you take the people who are standing on the steps, who the police allowed to stand there, that's the police department's fault, not the protesters. Even if you take those people, that's say 3,000 on the front and 1,500 on the back. That's 4,500 people out of over 500,000 people. So 1%, 2%. Yeah, that were on the steps. But involved in the invasion of the Capitol building, about 120 people. He should rub the chilies on his hands, then go for a pee. Then he Blade is not the sharpest tool in the shed. No, that's true. Blade and Zima is not the sharpest tool. Colton sees way boots for sale. Been run in only once. Aha, that's good. 109 years and can't govern for crap, says Brandon. Well, there you go. I think that's a fair point. We just surged to 167 and dropped back to 155. Why? Were you waiting? Did the people come in here to see Cyril? He's not on yet, folks. So if you're waiting for Cyril, hang tight. We're waiting for him to show up. Of course, he'll be late. Lynette Thert says, can help do something like that. Oh, no, this is MF to Lynette. Johan says, my dad's a vet. Fought on the border against ANC, and today he doesn't get any money from the government. Yet a 25-year-old will get a vet grant. No, it's criminal. It's also bullshit. You can't be a vet at 25 years of age. Nobody in South Africa is a vet if they're 25 years of age. They may be a veteran, but they're not a combat veteran. And you don't get money as a veteran at 25 unless you were physically injured and you're handicapped. In the security industry, and what you showed in the video clearly shows insurgents. What's this in the security industry? Huh? Brew? What are you talking about, man? I'm sure they would pay people. Okay, I don't know what Brew's saying. I only got part of that there. Old days, 22 through the skull. Oof, that's pretty scary stuff. 200 people out of 500,000, they call that an insurrection. Yeah, no, it's bullshit. They also called us domestic terrorists, and I call Joe Biden a venal, craven, corrupt, pay-for-play Chinese puppet. So there you go. That's what I said. By the way, he's not the president yet, so he's the president-elect, so just put that out there. Anyway, it's the trolls checking in and out. Yeah, I think that's what it is, actually, Schlock. So I think they're popping in and out, hoping to come in and promote the ANC or, bigotry or racism or something like that. Anyway, it's really a shame what the ANC's let itself become. But, yeah, so this is what I want to show you. This is a poll from YouGov that was published by The Economist. Now, YouGov is not a scientific poll. It's an online poll. It's about as useful as change.org. So nearly half of Republicans support the invasion of the Capitol. That's bullshit. That's bullshit. So here they say Democrats opposed it 95, 97%. Republicans 45% support it. Is more? Do you think that this protest is more peaceful or more violent? Democrats thought it was more violent. 90%. Republicans see this is all bullshit. Utter bullshit. It is shocking to think that an American president would end his time in office by inciting his supporters to storm the Capitol. Well, first off, it's shocking that you claim to be a news media outlet because that's utter bullshit. That's cock. Trump didn't incite anybody to storm the Capitol. That's not what happened. You're liars. And you didn't even cover the event. So you're just making this crap up. Utter liars. Just total nonsense. Ramaphosa is still not on, ladies and gentlemen, just so you know. I'm checking periodically. If somebody catches it and I don't, let me know and they'll get him on there. But that's utter nonsense. That is not what happened. And they know that's not what happened. They're just liars. Liars, 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 liars. He did not do that. In fact, I thought that his speech was kind of lame. I thought that it was a sore loser, especially about the Georgia election races, which weren't lost because of theft or election fraud, but because the candidates were useless and their campaigns were pathetic. And the McConnell in the Congress, in the Senate, Mitch McConnell undermine their re-election chances by submarining the $2,000 per American. And that shyster little bastard, Mitch McConnell in the Senate, denies Americans $2,000 relief, but is happy to give foreign aid to Venezuela and for gender studies and the Kennedy Center in an omnibus bill. He's okay with that, but he doesn't want to give Americans $2,000. Now, I'm not in favor of $2,000 payments to Americans, but $600 was an insult, an absolute insult. So now Joe Biden's going to get credit for that. And Mitch McConnell knew that. Mitch McConnell intentionally submarined the candidacies of Loeffler and Perdue. So the fact that Mitch McConnell will no longer be the speaker or the Senate Majority Leader is Mitch McConnell's fault. As I've said for months, Mitch McConnell is a deep state troll and needs to go. He is not part of the solution. He is part of the Hillary Clinton, Barack Obama, Joe Biden, Kamala Harris problem. He is part and parcel of it, just as John McCain was. I knew John McCain personally. Very disappointed in his last 20 years in office. What does ANC have to celebrate? Yeah, exactly. What do they have to celebrate? Nothing worthwhile. Still not there. Still waiting for Cyril to show up. It's now 12:07. See, this is just a big tease. This is disgraceful. You could have the courtesy to show up on time, Cyril. This is disgraceful. Instead, we're seeing these other bozos. Oh, it looks like he might be almost ready. Here he comes. All right, folks. But the video feed is choppy now. What's going on there?
National Chairperson of the African National Congress, Comrade Montage, Deputy President David Dabede Mabuza, Essential, officials of the African National Congress, members of the National Executive Committee, leaders of our leagues,
ancestors,
leadership of the Alliance,
ants buried under the kitchen,
our religious leaders who prayed for these proceedings, our traditional leaders, fraternal organizations participating in these proceedings,
Dicks,
comrades, members of the African National Congress, and indeed supporters of our movement, the people of South Africa.
Movement. There's no movement.
Nearly half a century has passed since the ANC in exile through its National Executive Committee, issued the first January 8th statement.
It's a terrible connection.
It was a time of great upheaval. The people of our country were suffering under a repressive regime. The liberation movements were banned, and our leaders were imprisoned, banished, and exiled.
Where they belonged, because they were criminals.
And yet, even without being allowed to gather or to organize, and without our leaders being in their midst, the message of the ANC always found its way to our people on January the 8th.
By the way, the gaps aren't my computer.
That message gave our people strength, hope, and courage. Today we deliver the message of the National Executive Committee on January 8th at a time of great upheaval in our country,
Caused entirely by you.
across the world.
No, caused by you. Economic
The
implosion.
ANC celebrates 109 years since its founding under the shadow of a global pandemic that has led to bravery and loss of life. A pandemic that has severely damaged our economy
No, you.
and has profoundly changed how we lead our lives.
Is he describing the ANC as a pandemic?
None of the traditional activities we hold actually on this day to mark the birth of our movement are taking place this year. Due to the restrictions that are in place to contain the spread of the virus and the need at this time to exercise utmost caution, we are not handling our traditional door-to-door engagements,
Jeez.
our unity meetings, and our usual January 8th rallies.
He's unwatchable normally.
And yet, even as we are unable to gather in numbers,
But this is very painful.
even as the leadership of the ANC is unable to with you in person, the message of the African National Congress lives in the hearts and the minds of our people.
Dial up. 56K.
It is a message that gives inspiration and encouragement to our members, supporters, and many others across the nation.
Race baiting and racialization.
People of this country have entrusted the ANC responsibility to work with them in building a better life for all.
Yeah, you destroyed life.
Over the course of its history, the ANC has lived up to this responsibility. It led the heroic struggle of the people of South Africa
Smoking
against
crack
apartheid,
cocaine. Live up to its
resulting in the
responsibilities,
country's
please.
first democratic elections and the adoption of a democratic constitution. In government, the ANC led the reconstruction of our society from the ashes of apartheid misrule.
The destruction of society, you mean?
We worked together with the people to expand access to housing, electricity, water and sanitation, and social infrastructure for millions of our people. We expanded access to education and healthcare. Prior to the onset of the global financial crisis, our policies contribute to the revival of our economy, the creation of millions of new jobs, the stabilization of our public finances, and the reduction of poverty.
Wow.
It
Don't any
was
lie.
these achievements that earned the ANC the confidence and trust of the people of the country.
Almost nobody trusts you.
The trust that our people have invested in us should never be taken for granted. We know that to fulfill our role and discharge our responsibility, we must renew and rebuild our movement and ensure it remains true to its founding values
It's
and
betrayed
principles.
all its founding principles and its
The
ideals. You're a
values
liar.
on which this movement was founded: integrity,
You have none.
honesty,
There is none.
tolerance,
No tolerance.
respect, and above all, service to our people.
No service. You're thieves.
While important progress has been made in the renewal and rebuilding of the ANC since the 54th National Conference, there is still much done. The organization has been weakened by corruption, resistance to renewal, and controversies involving ANC leaders.
Controversy.
These problems have widened the social distance between the ANC and the people of our country. At the same time, there is a danger that internal conflicts can consume us and detract from the very real we need to do to unite and transform our society. For over a century, the ANC has sought to fulfill its historic mission to build a united, non-racial, non-sexist, democratic and diverse South Africa.
Undemocratic, racist.
In the face of great challenges before us, it is more important ever that we keep our spies firmly on the ship.
You see, keep their spies?
In this year of 2021, our foremost priorities as the African National Congress are, firstly,
Loot.
to act together
Steal.
with all South Africans
Demonize.
to defeat virus, the enemy that confronts us.
Imprison minorities.
Secondly, to place our economy on a path of renewal and recovery.
Removal from
Thirdly,
society.
to forge ahead with a fundamental renewal of the African National Congress. Fourthly, we must work to build a better Africa and a better world.
It's not your job to build a better
As a
Africa.
movement, we continue to draw strength and encouragement from the great struggles fought by those who came before us. This year marks the 150th anniversary birth of one of South Africa's most remarkable and pioneering
All right,
leaders.
folks, give me a thumbs up. Should I
Charlotte
just turn off Ramaphosa now? This is a waste of time. I've lost 50 viewers.
She was
so
the first black South
continue or
African
stop.
woman
Continue or stop.
to obtain a science
I'll keep my
degree.
stream going, but continue or stop with Cyril.
She was a delegate to the ANC founding conference in 1912 and was the founder of the Bantu Women's League, a forerunner
Cut.
to the ANC Women's League.
Stop.
She made an exceptional contribution
All right,
to the
folks, I'm
social
gonna cut the stream.
liberation of women in South Africa
Yep. Okay.
and contemporary attitudes about the place of women in politics, in society, and in the economy.
Oh my goodness, I can't. That's unwatchable, folks. That is unwatchable. Sorry about that. I apologize for subjecting people to that. That was just utter bullshit. But I did put it up as something that was going to come up the stream, so I've gotten rid of that now, folks. My apologies. Yeah, I lost 50 viewers. 50 viewers. Wow. 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 So Cyril killed my stream. Cyril killed my stream. Everybody left. Oh, it's just not fair. It's not fair, man. Come on, man. Wow. 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 Cyril killed my stream. You know, video killed the radio star, but Cyril just killed my stream. Don't worry, he killed a country, says Johan van der Merwe. Well, that's right. So his toxicity, his infectiousness, his viral load is still powerful. He's not only killed South Africa, he's killed my stream. Wow, they have nothing left. They're even losing control of the narrative. Yeah. Wow. Wow. They just spew the same nonsense. That was just painful, folks. My apologies for that. And now on to something completely different. Woo! Okay. Oh, this is cool, guys. You're going to like this. This is Kloksvik. Okay. Here we go. I don't think it could split conservative vote. Most conservatives actually side with Trump. So at least now he's a conservative. So we'll see if he stays that way. But anyway, there you go, folks. That's Kloksvik. That's in the Faroe Islands. Look at those clouds, those very distinctive mountains out there in the distance, and there's a harbor down there. It's pretty cool. That's Kloksvik in the Faroe Islands. Big Daddy Louise says, never trust a commie. Well, I agree with him. I was going to leave. Thank you. Well, a lot of people did leave, Louise. And Ronaldo, let's see how many people Ronaldo still got. He's got quite a few people watching this stream. He had 775. Let me see if I had a similar development going on. Yeah, we are up to 100. Let me see. Let's get to, I want to see how many people he's currently got. We've got Ronaldo has got 1,100 people. Wow. So Ronaldo's audience grew and mine shrank. Well, that's just wrong. That's just wrong. Joe Emilio got 64. Wow. Joe had 11 people. Oh, no, that's an old one. That's okay. That's not now. Yeah, Ronaldo has 1,100 people watching his stream right now. What the hell? And you all left my channel? And now for something completely different. This is Kloksvik, folks. Isn't that gorgeous? Beautiful. I love the colored roofs. It's awesome. And there you go. That's my favorite photo. I'm so proud of that photo. I saw that, and I had to get in the right spot. It's like it's got a little beard. See the mountain's got a beard there? It is so cool. Kloksvik. That's 2004, by the way. Yeah, what do you guys think? You like that? Is that cool? That's an amazing picture right there. That is the DA for Ronaldo. You could be right, Louise. That's right. They don't realize Trump was not the river holding back American patriot pride, but rather the dam, as he made people believe their voice and vote did count. Right, and now that we know that doesn't count, the cards are off the table for a lot of people. It's kind of frightening what's going to happen now on both sides of the aisle. Might be a plot. Part of the SABC wanting to start charging for streaming services. Is attracting sheeple. Well, so I hope those 50 people who are here, or 60 people weren't sheeple. Johan Lessing. Ik weet die hochem nie, maar ik zie daar een afgri in die sus wat agrivakte die baan van. Oh man, you guys are on this flatworm medicine, aren't you? Maybe that's why I got accused of spreading medical misinformation, and I didn't, but I was accused of it. See the fog there? It was chasing me up the mountain. You see me coming up. You see the elevation. I paused right here to get an image. And that's the fog I almost got caught in. I'm there. There it is. It's actually, I'm in it now. See the sheep right there? She's got a lamb. Ooh, look at that little black lamb. That's cool. Yep. That's what I was in. You see the road there, right in the center. That's the fog. That's where I just drove through and I got up above it. And now I'm looking back on it. That's the blanket of fog that came up in the valley. It's amazing. It's amazing. Ryan Falk, welcome to you. No, he's not finished as a relevant political figure. He's got tens of millions of people who are devoted followers who will follow him. He's got tons of wealth, and he'll start his own broadcast network, and he'll remain relevant. Whether it's a good thing or not, that's a legitimate argument. But your assessment, I disagree with. Trump will be relevant, whether people want him to be or not, mostly because the media is obsessed with him. I didn't have a beard back then, Ian. I was clean-shaven in the Army. But look, that's a closer view of the road I just drove up. That's pretty cool stuff, man. Look at that. Oof, beautiful. Look at that. It's almost like someone was filling up a bathtub, and that was the bubbles on top of the bathtub. It's filling an entire valley. Now there you can see a break in the clouds, and it looks like you can see a break. You can see the water, but that's actually not a break. That's still the clouds. That's all land there. Obviously not prime agricultural land. Mostly sheep. All rocky. Yep. There you go. Self-portrait. I put that on a timer. See that hair? Yeah. There's no gray in that hair. Transkei, no, this is the Faroe Islands. The Faroe Islands. Yeah, folks, this is in the Faroe Islands in the North Atlantic. There you go. Look at that. There is no gray in that hair. I still have that shirt, those shorts, those shoes, and that jacket. This is from 16 years ago, or 17 years ago. Weren't your followers who went to Ronaldo? I gave them the benefit of the doubt. Those are new sheeple. Well, thank you, Lynette. Maybe they were. Anyway, yeah, pretty cool, huh? There's a little bit closer. That's a better picture there. Yeah, look at that. That's a long time ago. Oh, Sylvester. Oh, that's right. That's uncalled for. There's a yellow card. Oh, that's a red card for Sylvester. You were handsome once upon a time. Oh, my goodness. Ah. Oh, my good. Sylvester, you are banished from this channel. You are banished. I was handsome once upon a time. I'm dead sexy still. How did you get there? Good question, Lynette. That's the first good question that came up about it. So at the time I was stationed at the National Security Agency. I was still in the National Security Agency. I hadn't reported to the Defense Intelligence Agency yet. There was a flight from Iceland Air. Used to use Baltimore Washington International Airport as an alternative airport because the fees were lower and it was close enough to D.C. So you could fly to there for years on Iceland Air. The flight would go from Baltimore to Reykjavik. They would stop, change passengers, and continue on to Frankfurt. And so I took advantage of the fact you could fly to Reykjavik. So I booked a low-cost flight. I went in April, which is a terrible time to go to Iceland because it's still icy, cold and snowy. But still you can see things, and I don't mind the cold weather. I'm a Viking, and there's my people there. That's my peeps. So I went there, and I flew with Iceland Air to Reykjavik. I got there. The weather was horrific. It was sleet, snow, rain, freezing cold, winds like 40, 50 knots all over the place. It was crazy. I took the transport into town, picked up my rental car, and then I stayed in Reykjavik for a day or two, and then started traveling around the country for a couple of days. And then I had a flight booked on Atlantic Airways, which is the national airline of the Faroe Islands. Even though it's part of Denmark, it's semi-autonomous, so they have their own national airline. So I flew Atlantic Airways from Reykjavik to it's not even at the capital because there's nowhere to land planes there. It's on the western side and the south side of one of the islands. So I flew there, Vagar. That's what it's called, Vagar. That's what the airport is. I flew to Vagar, and that's not the way you pronounce it in Faroese, but that's spelled V-A-G-A-R with a little circle around. Anyway, so I flew there and then took a bus into town and picked up my hire there, and I drove around the Faroe Islands. It was pretty cool. That was a self photo. I put that on a timer, so let me see if there's any more pictures really cool here. Okay, I'll show you Torsthaven. And this is the view from my hotel room. I'll show you this. It was pretty cool. When are you going to do another late night music quiz? Well, right now with a community warning against me for an offense not named by YouTube, I'm not pushing any chances with anything like that now. So lots of calves there. Those are calves that could hike 40 miles, 40 kilometers with a rucksack. You're kidding yourself. You are kidding yourself. Anyway, so wine tastes better the older it gets. I don't know about that if it goes flat. But here you go. This is Torsthaven, folks. That was from my hotel room in Torsthaven, and it was prettle cool. Right there in the center of town in the Faroe Islands. So let's take a few more pictures of Torsthaven. There you go. There you go. Little boats right down there. My hotel is to the left in this image. You walk down the pier there, and on the left-hand side, that red building you see right there is the red building that MB Tours. That's that building. So thus you have an idea where it's coming from there. There you go. Check it out. So I guess the Faroe Islands have to hire me as a tourism guy. Well, I lost 10 more people. Wow. That sucks. Anyway, cool. There you go. Torsthaven. Beautiful place. Look at those roofs. Sod on the roof with grass growing on it. Keeps it warm. Pretty wild, huh? Even in the awning. Look at that. They got grass growing out here in the front on the awning. That was a self picture. Didn't come out so well because of the lighting. And that's Torsthaven. There you go. I don't know how they mow the lawn. It's a good question. There you go. You can see the flag. That's the Faroese flag, that red and blue cross on a white background. Erica says they're reminded of Bergen. Yeah, they do. It's a lot like Norway. Remember, these are Norse people. That's where they're from. So there you go. Anyway, yep. And look at these massive mountains, man. They're just huge. So this is when I was on the island, another island, one of the southern islands. Took a ferry over there, and I set the timer on the camera, and I thought it had already taken the picture. I went too soon. I'm walking back up. I was trying to get a picture of myself down there, so rookie mistake there. But look at that. Look at those cliffs, and you can see all the layers of bedrock. Look at that, just unbelievable, unbelievable. There's a little closer picture. That one's pretty cool. Wow, unbelievable. Remember, this is the remains of an ancient continent. I've lost more viewers. Nobody likes this. Well, look at that. You talk about nice things. You don't talk about horror and politics, and people leave. Oh, well, I guess people just want to be miserable. They just want to be miserable. Look at that. Puffins all over the place, too. Puffins were awesome. I saw puffins there. They're pretty cool. Oh, sheep. And there's tourist hot ones that came back on the ferry. And that's the government building right there, that red stuff. That's where the government's at. Anyway, there you go, folks. That is the Faroe Islands. I hope you enjoyed that. They're part of, you're going to see the Faroe Islands, F-A-R-O-E, Faroe Islands. Look it up on the internet, folks, Faroe Islands. It's pretty cool. Actually, let me just do that right now. I'll give you the link here. There used to be plenty of tourist sites for the islands. Let me see if they're still there. Here you go. Visit the Faroes, a guide to the Faroes. Put like a new tab, and then 14 reasons to visit the Faroes. There you go. And then there you go. Let me just get you those real quick. Oh, wives won in the Faroe Islands. Wow. There are now more than 300 women from Thailand and the Philippines living in the Faroes. Wow. Wow. That's desperate for women. Sending for male-in brides. Here you go. Wives won in the Faroe Islands. There you go. The shortage of women in the Faroes, so local men are increasingly seeking wives from further afield, Thailand and the Philippines in particular. There you go. Look at that. But what's it like for the brides who swap the tropics for the windswept archipelago? When Aetha Sleitelid first moved from Thailand to the Faroes, where winter lasts for 6 months, she would sit next to the heater all day. That's her. People told me to go outside because the sun was shining. I just said, no, leave me alone. I'm very cold. Moving here 6 years ago was tough for her, but she admits she met her husband, Jan. He was working with a Faroese friend who had started a business in Thailand. Jan knew in advance that bringing his wife to this very different culture and weather landscape would be challenging. There you go. Wow. There are now more than 300 women from the Thailand and Philippines living in the Faroes in a population of just 50,000. They make up the largest ethnic minority in these 18 islands. Yeah. 300 people make up the largest ethnic minority. That shows you how homogenous the population was. So here you go, the Faroe Islands. Let me put that one in there for you guys. And where the heck is this at? That's not what I wanted. I want this one. Here we go. Sorry, folks. I'm trying to get you the link. That's one of them for you can watch. Let me get back to that. And then we have 14 reasons to visit the Faroe Islands. Well, I give you a good reason. It's amazing. That's all you need to know. It's absolutely amazing. Wow, my audience has really dropped off. After I went to Cyril, I got crushed. We had 172 people watching, and then Cyril came on, and boom, look at this. Down one. Wow. That's really depressing. Really depressing. And but thanks a lot. Thanks for the fickle viewership, folks, without even saying why you're going to leave. Wow, that's really, that's a shame. Anyway, I bet that's your choice. People don't want to watch it. They don't want to watch it. That's their business. Not my place to try to force them to watch it. Anyway, so back to this, folks. So that is 14 reasons to visit the Faroe Islands. I'll cover that very quickly. There you go. Look at that picture right there. That is an awesome picture. You don't have to worry about crowds. That's true. Sheep outnumber humans 2-1. Oh, that's a pretty picture there. The coziest capital you ever see. It's not the coziest capital you ever see, but it's a nice little capital. Unrivaled natural beauty. That's true. It's gorgeous. Pinterest-worthy waterfalls. I didn't see this one. That's beautiful. Ease of travel. Yeah, well, ease of travel. Look at that tunnel. See that? See, that's a tunnel. That looks like the one I came out of. Or wait, that's the other side I went in. I'm sorry. Yeah. Scenes pool from Middle Earth. Yeah, I agree with that. There's some old buildings. I've been in that spot too. And it's Puffin Paradise. There you go, folks. I mentioned the puffins. Puffins. Well, I agree with you, Mr. Dolder-Wolf, but since I turned off Cyril, my viewership has dropped by another 30. So now we're at half of where we were. So I lost half of them for Cyril and then another half afterwards. Puffins are amazing. I love puffins. They're cool. That one there's got a fish in his mouth. The one standing on the ledge right there. You can see a fish in his mouth. Epic hiking opportunities. Those charming turf-roofed houses. Cliffs that rival Moore and Napili. Yeah, the cliffs are amazing. Optical illusions in real life. Yeah, look at that. It looks like it's not real, but it is just because of the angles. Even winters are beautiful. Yeah. That looks like Iceland in the background. That's what Iceland looks like. I'll show pictures of Iceland next time. Prime Northern Lights viewing. I wasn't there in the wintertime for that. That would be awesome, though. I should consider going back for that. Yeah. Anyway, there you go, folks. That is the Faroe Islands. I hope you enjoyed that. Something a little bit different, not talking about other nonsense going on. But I will do a Night Owl stream in a bit. In the meantime, I'm going to check in with Joe Emilio and see if he's still doing it. We're talking about me coming on his program. But I'll do a Night Owl stream. But today, Friday, the most important thing I need you guys to know about is that Dr. Victor Davis Hanson will be on the channel later. That will be at 5:15 Eastern Standard Time, 2:15 Pacific Standard Time. Of course, that's going to be after midnight in South Africa. So in Botswana, that'll be at 15 minutes past midnight. So please, if you're up and you want to watch it, please come watch it. If not, watch it after the fact. Dr. Victor Davis Hanson is an amazing historian, and it should be a good experience. He's been here previously, and I hope that we get a big audience for Dr. Victor Davis Hanson. So, folks, thanks. Please tune in. Sheep outnumber people. Lynette. That's a phenomenon not unique to South Africa. We have sheep outnumbering people here in the United States as well these days. The Grand Tour will love those roads. Yeah, they would love that. I'm back. My phone switched itself off during a speech. They were scared the Grinch would take stuff from their houses too. Off to the grindstone. 169 dislikes on News 24. Well, that's good. That's good. We don't want to see ANC anything related to glorified terrorists. Says someone there. Gert Steenkamp says, ANC always talks fake. It must go. Yep. Anyway, yeah. So, all right, folks, I'm out of here. I'll see you again in 2 hours from right now on the Night Owls edition, and then I'll be back after that for Dr. Victor Davis Hanson. Thank you. Have a lekker Freitag, folks. I hope you have a lovely day. And since it's Friday and we get to do this on Fridays, here you go. Let me get this off. Take care.